Billy got it bumping.
Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Put a dude in this place, he out cold. With a tombstone, grapple the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go, the cage match. It's on now, when I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold till they hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him a head start. I just might catch a better body than Mickey James. Get acquainted with the name, we bringin' the pain. Like Kane in the ring, all I see is red. Paul era, Undertaker, I can see the dead. John Cena putting hands in your face. 10 DBS, keep a milli on the waist. B2TF, better stay in your place or get smacked down, play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to another episode of Boot to the Face, powered by FullPressCoverage.com. Go there for all your sporting wants and needs, where I am sure they will talk about all of the first round exits that have happened, including LeBron, King James. He's gone home early, gone fishing, as they say on TNT. The NFL draft concluded, the WWE draft concluded. All of that will be covered over on FullPressCoverage.com. But here on Boot to the Face, E.J. Reed, myself, Chris Rucker, will be talking about the world of professional wrestling in the past week. E.J., how the hell are you?
I can't complain. Like you said, playoffs in full effect. The draft is already over. Interesting 3 days of drafting. Your Knicks, they about to close out the series tonight.
Let's hope so.
Jalen Brunson was playing out his mind the other day.
MVP.
I don't know. He's good, but I wonder why. He's like 6 foot. I haven't really analyzed his game. Like, what does he do so special?
He's just good. He's just good. He can't be stopped, honestly. Like, watching him, the only time he can be stopped is if he just misses shots, but he gets whatever shot he wants. Like, and it's kind of frustrating too, watching, right? Because like towards the end of that game the other night, I just felt like they would just give him the ball and everybody would just watch and he would just make the shit happen. And it's like, I could get paid to coach that. Like, they're not running plays or anything. They're just doing ISOs the whole game. But he's fucking good, man. He's okay on defense. He rebounds pretty good for his size. He had like 10 assists also the other night. So it's not like he was just shooting. He was creating shit for other people. But he's really good. I think you know what it is? It's because he's left-handed.
Right? Maybe. I mean, that might be his secret weapon. Because go ahead.
I was gonna say everything he does just isn't as sexy because he's left-handed.
Because I was like just looking at highlights and I'm like, he's not the tallest. He doesn't have like a all-world handle like Kyrie. He's not a sharpshooter. He could shoot, but he's not like a sharpshooter. I don't know who's a good example of 3-point. Yeah, like a Ray Allen or something. If you go to historic players, and he's not jumping out of the gym. So I was like, well, why is this kid lighting it up so well? Maybe just some people just have a feel for the game, like you said. Maybe his left hand gives him an advantage.
Yeah, I mean he's this is gonna sound crazy. He reminds me of me when I used to play basketball. Obviously, he's way better. But like I couldn't jump the highest, I couldn't run the fastest, but I could score my ass off. Like I was really good at scoring the ball. But and everybody was taller than me, everybody was faster than me. I could barely touch the rim at my peak in high school, like and a little while after. But yeah, he's just one of them dudes that like he doesn't do one thing great, he just does everything well.
Yes.
Like he plays defense good enough. Like he handles good enough. He shoots good enough, right? And you put all that together, you get a really good basketball player. And he's on a big stage right now. Like, you know, he's been good for a couple since we've got him. I've been watching him and I like him a lot. I couldn't believe Dallas got rid of him. And then the Knicks only gave him like $100 million, I think, only.
Yeah, though, it's one of those instances where he wasn't playing like that in Dallas with Luka. It's like James Harden. People just thought he was a sixth man when he was with OKC.
Yeah.
And literally, as soon as he got on the Rockets, he started putting up like 30 a game. So it just depends on system. This is a
Yeah,
good system for Brunson.
that's true. But yeah, I like Brunson. Hopefully the Knicks get a couple guys injured back in the next round. If they get to the next round. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch.
It'll be a historic collapse if that happens. I don't see that happening, but you never know. But I was like, when the playoffs started, I'm like, it's a foregone conclusion. The Celtics are gonna get to the finals out of the East, but I don't know, man. You never know. The Celtics showed a little cracks. They dropped that one game, the Heat, even though the Heat had a all-time historic shooting night that night, but still, they
I
showed
feel
that
like
they're
that's what
beatable.
happened with the 76ers and Knicks series, though. The Knicks kind of stole game 2. And I feel like in game 3, it took 50 from Embiid, and the Sixers were just not missing shots that night. Like they were just throwing shit up and it was going in. And it's one of them nights where you just like the shit ain't gonna, like you could call it, right? Like the Knicks would come down, miss like a layup or something like that, and the Sixers would come down and you just be like, now watch them hit a three right here. And 5 point swing turned into another 5 point swing. Um, but yeah, hopefully the Knicks got a good team. They just I don't know how far they can go on one superstar with a bunch of try hard guys.
Yeah, you never know, man. You never know. That Dirk team that beat the Heat, it was like a bunch of try-hard guys for the most part.
Didn't they have like Jason Terry though?
He's a six man, and then they had Agent Jason Kidd.
That
Dirk was
little
like the only,
washed Jason Kidd was on that team?
yeah, he was like exactly. He was way past his prime, or maybe even like
Washed
a,
up Michael Finley.
yeah. I don't know. I think he was already out of the league by then, but or like a Detroit Pistons '04. They had a bunch of just work hard, try
Yeah, but
hard
they
guys.
had Rip Hamilton. What's my boy with the Rip Hamilton? Chauncey Billups, who came out of nowhere and won the MVP. Big Ben Wallace. Like
Chase Young Prince. They didn't have any
they had a
superstars. They
squad.
had like just a bunch of really good players. Maybe an all-star, one all-star game or two. Then they had Rasheed Wallace. He's probably
Yeah, but they had a bunch of really good, like known players. The Knicks don't have that. Like after Brunson, it's like Josh Hart. I mean, they got OG. What's his last name? I can never get his name right. They got him in a trade, but I don't think he's like a superstar.
yeah. But looking back at that Pistons teams retroactively, because they went on like a little run where they were making conference finals after that. But at the time, people were like, who's a Rip Hamilton going against Kobe, Shaq, Malone, Peyton?
Yeah, you're right. Tayshaun Prince, little unorthodox ass.
Yeah, lanky getting that block on. What was it, Reggie Miller block? That was crazy.
Yeah, but it's been a good playoff. That atmosphere in Philadelphia, that game was crazy. I don't know if you were watching live or not, but
But
hearing
were they giving Embiid some shit? I've been hearing like I've been listening to sports shows here and there without any context and them talking about fans.
yeah, it was like I wasn't there, but the way it sounded on TV, it was like 60-40 Knicks fans in Philadelphia. Maybe 55-45. Like I've seen videos on Twitter and shit where like after the game, Knicks fans are in the fucking concourse chanting Knicks in 5 loud as hell, like putting jerseys on the Rocky statue. Like they were just going off. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't think Philadelphia would be a town to get their stadium taken over in the fucking playoffs. Like Philly had championship aspirations this year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, but told Embiid got uh injured or whatnot. So, injuries always play a factor.
Yeah.
That played a factor into a couple of the series. This what was it, the Pelican series? They didn't have Zion. Who knows what they could have done with Zion?
They should be used to playing without him, though.
Yeah, it's tragic. But it's interesting playoffs.
Yeah, so if we could fast forward to the conference finals, it should come down to the Knicks and the Celtics and then the top 2 seeds in the East. So it
Yeah.
makes sense.
How about Cowboys signing Zeke?
So who was your street clothes performer of the week this year? So
Hey,
I
I
don't
mean, he's
I
not gonna
don't
be he's not gonna be the main running back, but what if he's
how's he not? They don't have anybody.
well,
Rico Dowdle? That tickling your fancy?
Hey,
Deuce
it's
Vaughn,
no be no Gamecock disrespect on this show.
Royce Freeman,
Rico Dowdle was a good change of pace back. He's not an every down back.
change of pace from who though?
Um, Whatever that was going on last year, but I know
So I like the Cowboys draft, right? But I still feel like one of those picks should have been a running back.
who though.
I feel like they had a chance to get Jonathan Brooks from Texas, and they had a chance to get Buddy from Florida State, and they didn't. They went and got the offensive lineman, which that's going to be cool and all, but you really want a rookie left tackle out there when you could swing Tyler Smith out there and let somebody play on the inside? They drafted 2 or 3 offensive linemen, which I like the trade back, but I feel like they should have took a running. I think they should have took a running back. They should have took a game changing running back, let him have a 4 year deal, and then ship his ass out and draft another one in 4 years.
I get what you're saying, but like you gotta be super special running back to like actually make a huge impact. I think it comes down to having a healthy O line. You have a healthy O line and you have a pretty good running back and you're in good shape, but it's
My
all about
thing
having
is,
a healthy O line.
running backs are so like you can find them anywhere. So why not at least draft one and hope you get lucky? Like a lot of these running backs in the NFL now weren't first and second round picks. Like they were later round picks that they're young, they're fresh, they're fast, they can break tackles. At least get one. What are we doing here?
What did Jerry say? This is a make or break year, or all chips in or something like that.
I don't listen. I don't listen to that motherfucker no more.
You don't listen to the Crypt Keeper anymore.
No, I'm done with him.
Ah,
You don't do
be
shit
like
but
that
sell
sometimes.
sell us a dream every year. Oh, I think this is the best team we've put out there on the. Shut the fuck up. No, you don't. You just want us to buy these high ass tickets. You know, you want us to buy all your merchandise, which I'm still on the Cowboys boycott. I ain't buying shit Cowboys. If somebody gets me something for Father's Day, I'll rock it. But I'm not spending my money on these motherfuckers this year. I'm not even getting Sunday ticket. I'm gonna get fucking IPTV. And if I can't watch the game, it is what it is. I'm fed up. I really am. Like, it took a lot for me to get here too.
Mm.
Because I was with these motherfuckers for 30 years in between Super Bowls, like every year. Like, we could actually do it. We can't do it. We're not gonna. Because ownership sucks.
Well, I'm glad you finally saw the light. Talk about you just getting fed up. I've been fed up. It wasn't last decade. It was this decade. It was one of the good seasons. It might have been either the 21 season or the 22 season. We had a really good season. And then you're always optimistic, which is a good quality to have. But I'm like, man, I don't know, man, Rucker. It's just something about ownership or coaching, and you're like, just gotta trust the process. I've been trusting the process since the mid '90s.
My philosophy has been like, just go to the playoffs every year. You're bound to break through. And I honestly thought last year was the year. Like, they had it set up. They got the number 2 seed. All they had to do was get there. And they could, honestly, the way Detroit played San Francisco didn't come out. Now, San Francisco probably would have beat the shit out of Dallas. But like,
Never know.
there's no reason they shouldn't have made the conference championship last year. They had it, they were undefeated at home, averaging like 40 something points. They were playing the number 7 seed, which is a team that just got into the playoffs. And they get their ass beat because their coach, their dumbass defensive coach that everybody praised, including me for a little while until I saw that he was full of shit, was too fucking stubborn to get players that would help. Like, what have we been having a problem with for 4 years now? Stopping the fucking run. We got a safety playing like. Let's get to wrestling. You done got me.
Hey, more content for the Cowboys podcast. Some hot takes.
I'll be here all day talking about these motherfuckers. The week in wrestling, EJ. We had a lot going on. We got a preview Backlash this coming week. We got Street Clothes Performer of the Week. We got power rankings. We got the draft results. Let's start with the draft.
I kind of feel like I got a feeling deep down in my bones that you're gonna say it wasn't as bad as people are saying it was.
I didn't know people were saying it was bad. I didn't like it.
Oh, well, then you agree with the majority. Yeah, it's not been getting good reviews.
I mean, I don't. It's not that I didn't like who was drafted or whatever. Like, I think if you look at the rosters now, you can predict like a lot of feuds and shit. Like, I'm really excited about Becky Lynch and Asuka like being on the same brand again. Like, they just got such good chemistry. I could watch these motherfuckers wrestle a million times. Io Sky, I'm excited about seeing her and Becky. Um, Even seeing Liv Morgan with them. But like putting Damage Control on Raw with a bunch of new people, and then you throw Kiana James in there. I'm really excited about the women's division on both rosters. Um, but I just feel like it was made into such a big deal, and then it was just kind of like I'm glad I didn't pay for those shows in person. I think I would have been pissed.
And it was in your hometown yesterday. And I told
Yep.
you before even last week, I said, I'm not going to any more wrestling shows for the rest of the year. And my decision was justified by that show. Like, what's going on with your hometown? They didn't seem like they had a lot of energy.
They were probably bored from the fucking draft.
Yeah, it seemed a little ho hum. Even uh Phil, he got a response, but it wasn't like a raucous response.
I mean, because they didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't want to like startle him, so he ended up getting hurt again. So they were just trying to like let the old man come down there,
Oh,
peace and
oh, that's what happened. Huh.
yeah, let him say his piece and leave. Yeah, I don't know about the crowd. Like they were hot for Becky. They were kind of hot for Jey Uso. Uh,
Oh, that's what I want to talk about. This is kind of a little bit off the beaten path, but what's up with that reaction yesterday goes to show you that everything you see on the internet is not true.
which one are you talking about?
Oh, we don't want Becky as champion. Becky Hogan. We want Liv. Go come to show you. Becky comes out there, get a bunch of Becky chants. Liv comes out there, she's getting mommy chants. So where are you internet people that saying that we didn't want Becky?
You know what I learned a long time ago? People on the internet don't buy tickets to shows.
Absolutely, they're correct
They
about that.
they bitch on the internet. They get a bunch of likes. They get a bunch of people just like them to say the same fucking thing, and then they don't go. They don't spend their money on the shows. They just bitch on the internet. That's their. That's their. It's like being a gamer. Like you don't really talk to friends in real life, but you got friends on the internet the whole time. And that's the world we're in pro wrestling. But I mean, it's always been like that, right? Like back when they were trying to get Roman over as a face at the like Raws and stuff like that, where the smart fans would go and kind of get everybody to boo him. Okay, they might get half and half reactions, and there were some like obvious, like Philadelphia ones that stood out. But on house shows and like pay-per-views and shit, Roman was getting completely cheered. But you wouldn't know that because the internet told you that he sucked.
There's some truth in there, but I watched a lot of that. He was getting a lot of mixed reactions.
Yeah, again, on the TV shows where the quote unquote smart fans would go and kind of lead the way, but they would show his house show videos and like then people wasn't booing Roman Reigns then. He was over as a motherfucker. He was over. I mean, honestly, I thought he was over anyway. He could have kept getting pushed as a babyface. He just needed to change his look a little bit. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, the internet's not real. These motherfuckers that talk all this shit about people, like threaten this woman's baby because their favorite didn't win. These motherfuckers almost got me to stop my like for Liv Morgan. And I like Liv Morgan.
I don't like this incarnation of Liv Morgan. They just need the she's I don't like the area gray they're doing with her. Make her a face, even though I wouldn't like that, or just make her a heel. I think I would like that. This
Did you
area
see
shade
the
of gray didn't work for me. Did I see, huh?
did you see the Easter egg last night?
I did not.
There was a Jay Uso interview backstage with what's the girl's name? Kathy. Is it
Oh,
Kathy
was it
Kelly?
was it Dom?
Liv Morgan came out of a door,
Mhm.
and then a couple seconds later, Dom came out the same door, just in the background. Like they didn't draw any attention to it. But I saw the internet sleuths like put the thing up there today. I noticed Liv Morgan. I didn't notice it was Dom coming behind her, but yeah, apparently they were somewhere doing something, talking or whatever.
Hmm.
I like this kind of shit. Like you got to pay attention to everything, and they've been doing this a lot for like the last year or so.
I mean, they've been kind of doing it ever since Triple H Quasi took over. What was that SummerSlam? Was the SummerSlam we went to with starting with the Bray QR codes and all that good
I
stuff.
don't like that shit though.
So they're doing it again with Uncle Howdy. So
Yeah,
brace yourself. But yeah, I mean, the crowd was into Becky. I don't know what her first real feud is gonna be. Like you said, you got the Damage Control girls that came over. I think they should break the group up just because it would spread out, you know, feuds and stuff. Having four people in the group, that's a lot to have, them not fight each other. So I don't know.
well, they already kicked Bailey out.
Yeah, but you can have the Kabuki Warriors as their own thing, and Io doesn't need a group. Let
They gonna
her,
kick out Dakota 'cause she's not Asian.
yeah, have that. Let it play out exactly like that. Let's see how the internet and the mainstream media reacts to that.
They already say that WWE's got a bunch of groups that are the same race. And I'm like,
I mean, they're not wrong.
yeah, but like, isn't that how life works though? Like it's not like you're actively saying, I'm not hanging out with people of a different race, but like you kind of gravitate towards people that are like you in your friendship circles I guess until you get a little older and you start branching out, maybe college age and shit like that. But growing up, like that's how shit is it not?
Somewhat, yeah. For the most part, yeah.
You want like-minded people with you when you're forming a fucking group trying to take over the world, you know? The Nation of Domination had fucking Owen Hart. All of a sudden, they started falling off.
What? I feel like that was my favorite incarnation of the group.
What?
Yeah, and it had the music and everything. I like that theme song better than "We Are Nation."
Of domination.
I like the
I'm a
other
black
one.
heart, damn it. I'm a warrior. Woo! I just realized he used to say he was a black heart.
Exactly. You see that double
That's why he was
entendre?
in the nation.
Double
Yeah,
entendre right
that
there.
goddamn Owen. Good for him.
But yeah, man. Like you said, I guess like they have all the races together just because I guess it reflects real life. You got Legado del Fantasma, the LWO who moved over to Raw. You know what I noticed? Maybe this was all by strategy. They did they didn't do a lot of moves at the top of the card. They do more so mid card moves, and that was probably by strategy because some of the mid card feuds and whatnot were kind of getting stale. They broke up the Pride and Final Testament and LWO and Legado. So
Well, now the LWO's on Raw, isn't Rey Mysterio going to retire? Wasn't his whole point of going to SmackDowns because he didn't want to fight Dom? He didn't want to be on the same show with him? That was a whole fucking storyline. Like he quit and went home, and they called him back and were like, "We can move you to SmackDown. That way, you're not on the same show with Dom anymore."
well, wasn't that before they had a match at WrestleMania?
I thought that was after.
Mm, this
After
thing's
he
a
beat his ass at WrestleMania, I thought he was like, "All right, I don't want to do this shit no more. Like I'm done with it."
I think you may be right. I think they did separate them. Last year is when they separated them, like right after their, things change.
He's a fucking deadbeat dad, man. This guy on Team Raw. Ray ain't shit.
That's what JBL said last night. Did they have something going on back in the day, a feud or something?
Hell yeah, JBL was racist as a motherfucker.
That's when I don't think I was watching.
I can't remember if it was Eddie or Ray he was feuding with, And he literally did a vignette where he was standing at the border of Mexico, like stopping people from crossing the border.
Oh man. What was this, like 05, 06 or something like that?
Man, it was bad.
You could get away with that. Like, imagine if they tried that nowadays. You'd have a section of the country that would like that though.
Oh, a big section of them. Build the wall, build the wall. As they
I
be
don't see
chanting.
what's wrong with JBL doing that. He's just telling it like it is.
We got to save these jobs for us. They come over here taking all our jobs. No, they're not. Your ass don't want to cut no grass. Shut the fuck up.
Oh man. Let's get off this before we lose a bunch of listeners. I thought those colored folks were pretty good until I heard that part. Man.
What else happened during the draft?
I didn't, you know what I didn't like? I didn't like, I know why they did it. They had to do it. I didn't like how champions were protected. Like,
I thought there was a different vibe, and I didn't mind it because I always thought it was stupid. Like, if me and you were drafting and you draft Cody, I clearly got to draft Damian Priest because I can't have both the fucking titles on your show.
well, that is what it is.
Well, if I ain't want that motherfucker though, I
Well,
want Cody.
you lose out on your champion. Have that as an angle where two of the champions on one show because you're an idiot and then draft the other champion.
They did. That's when they created that world title that Triple H had because the SmackDown championship went to Smack. I mean, the WWE champion went to SmackDown and said he wasn't coming anymore.
Oh, that was Brock Lesnar. He
Yeah.
had him exclusive to SmackDown. I'm just saying, like, all right, I draft Cody. For some reason you don't draft Damien. I'm gonna draft Damien too. You dummy.
Now we got another exactly, but I didn't want him. I wanted Cody.
Yeah, but that makes sense. I just like it where that just adds another element where you don't know if a champion's gonna get drafted, and they really don't have a reason not to do it now. They don't have any brand specific champion anymore. So
Yeah. I do love that there's not a SmackDown women's champion or a SmackDown tag team champion now. They took the name off of them, which I like. But I do have a question though. Like originally Rhea Ripley would be the Raw Women's Champion, so like this was a domino effect now. So I wonder maybe Becky and Seth were gonna go to SmackDown, but because she's the champion now, they got to keep her on Raw. Like the Rhea Ripley injury threw a wrench in a couple things.
maybe that's the only one that it really threw a wrench in. The Seth maybe going to SmackDown with his wife Becky, but I don't see any other, domino effect that would have. What do you think off the top of your head besides that?
I mean, I'm just like spitballing. Like I do like the champions thing though. Because I did always think it was stupid that you could draft the NXT champ. Like Indy Hartwell won the NXT title and then got drafted like 2 nights later.
I don't know.
And had to give up the title.
I don't care about, okay, how about a compromise? Protect the world champions, but don't protect the mid card and the tag team champions.
No, I like it.
I don't like it.
I mean, we're obviously different opinions or whatever, but I don't have an issue with the champions being protected.
Well, I had an issue with that, and I had an issue with some of the order of people being drafted as well.
Now, this I agree with you with. Like, I had this whole, like, I was at work today, I had this whole daydream. First off, I don't like how how sports have changed their philosophies on what colored uniform you wear. Like the Knicks are at home and they're wearing blue, and the Sixers are wearing white. And the Knicks court has a white logo on it, but they're wearing, I don't know. I like the traditional, like, home team wears white, road team wears their road jerseys. And they've kind of changed. Like, I think the other night, the Knicks were wearing blue and the Sixers were wearing red. Like, nobody was even wearing white. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, they went away from that like 5, 6, maybe even 10 years ago. I don't like it either.
Yeah.
I like traditional white jerseys being home and away, and now they got like these special city versions of the jersey. I don't mind
Mhm.
that, but I still just like white being home and dark being away. This might be the
It's
old man in me.
it's like the Cowboys used to be the only football team that will wear white at home. Everybody else wore their colored jerseys at home, and now everybody does it. But the Cowboys were the only team to do it because their owner years ago said he wants the fans to be able to see the other teams like colorful jerseys and shit like that.
Huh.
And now everybody does it. That's why the Cowboys don't wear blue that much.
Huh. You got a point because I did see a lot of white. Monkey see, monkey do. I guess you said a lot of teams copy it.
Yeah. But back to my thought. I was at work today and I was thinking, you know who could use this draft as a good uh reason to like turn heel? The New Day. Specifically Kofi. Kofi
Hmm.
could come out and cut a promo like, I'm a fucking former WWE champion. Like, and he could just start naming people, you know? I was a champion when before Roman was a tribal chief, when y'all didn't even like him. I was a champion when the guy that's got the title now, he didn't even start the book on his story. He was over somewhere else. You know, I was a champion during this. Y'all remember Kofi Mania? And now y'all picked me number 8 or whatever number he got picked, and he's just turned heel. And just a heel turn is not like we know Liv Morgan's about to turn all the way heel eventually. I don't want that. I want something that just out of nowhere, Kofi just starts beating the fuck out of Xavier.
So you want them split up then?
No, I'm just using it as an example. Like, but for them to like just come out and beat the dog shit out of somebody, and that be why, you know? And then they explain it. Like, we're the fucking New Day. We've won more tag titles than anybody else in the history of this company. And you picked us in the 8th round? The disrespect is ridiculous.
You know what else I would like to get added to that if they did that? Be like the New Day. Nah, that's what the thing we had with Big E. Big E ain't here right now, and then brand themselves a new tag team name and have the New Day be its own separate thing for eventual reunion if it happens. If he ever comes back, that might not even happen. But do like a little rebranding too. Give themselves a tag team name.
Yeah. Shout out to Big E and Mia Yim's sister.
Oh, that's who he's with.
Yep. Posting little lovey-dovey pictures all over the internet last couple of weeks.
Go ahead, Big E. I haven't really seen him like an item with anybody. Maybe he's a private guy until you just mentioned this. So that's what's up.
Yeah, that's what made me look at it. I was like, yeah, I ain't never seen Big E do. I always thought him and Caitlyn, Celeste Bonin,
Yeah.
they say they were friends, but I always thought like I almost started talking like there ain't nobody listening to us and it's just us.
Gotta be careful.
I,
Gotta be
I
careful.
almost said some shit I probably shouldn't have.
I know, his tag team partner was getting cuddly with a fellow wrestler at one point. And if you know, you know. That's what Google's for.
Those never mind.
Yeah, never
Let's just
mind.
keep moving. Let's go to
Let's
the
let's, let's
back
keep
to
it
the draft.
let's keep it pushing.
Yeah, I just think they put so much emphasis on it, and it's gonna be a letdown every time. Like it's not like back in the day where The Rock would get drafted number 1 overall, to go to SmackDown, or Undertaker gets drafted and he didn't fucking know and he throws a hissy fit. Like it's not like that anymore. You just got to expect the mid card people to get drafted, and those are where your feuds and stories are gonna be.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I was underwhelmed by it. I mean,
I agree.
like this is like I'm nitpicking, but I don't see the point of having like LA not on the same show with Cody on SmackDown. Like you could have, and then even like a KO switch him with Sammy, but Sammy's a protected pick, so you can't do that. I don't know. It's just a few subtle moves I think would have been more of a shakeup, like a Randy or a KO been split up. One of them going to Raw,
Yeah.
I think would have been a splash. Like I said, the top seems like they were protecting more so the top of the card, and they did the mix up with the mid card, which is not a bad thing, but I don't know.
It's almost like they were trying to apologize for it too. They kept saying, it's more about protecting what you do have now than gaining other people. They
I
said that shit like 10 times.
I noticed that too. Like they must be actually paying attention to the internet. Vince didn't give a shit about the internet. Whatever he's doing, he ain't give a fuck what nobody thought. It's
Yeah.
happening.
I did like the presentation of the draft though, like having alumni come out and announce the picks and little interaction here and there with people. I thought that was a good way to do it instead of having the GMs just come out over and over again.
They could have let Bully stay at home though.
I even liked I don't know if you saw it, but there's a video of like Nick Aldis calling Carmelo like the NFL coaches would call the draft picks
Hmm.
to let him know he was getting drafted. I thought that was a little cool.
They did that? Is that on social? I
Yeah.
didn't see that. Is that on social media or something?
Yeah, it's on social media and Melo was being a dick. Like, let's talk about getting more money.
So he probably knew. But do you think Kiana genuinely didn't know?
I don't think they let the NXT people know because they wanted that reaction.
What? Carmelo's NXT, but he was in the building, so of course he
Well,
would.
he had already been drafted to or came to Raw. Like he'd been on Raw a couple times already.
Yeah,
Like
he's
he's
on
had
Smack. He's
and
on Smack.
everything.
Yeah, he's on
Yeah, SmackDown.
SmackDown a
I'm
few
sorry.
times. But he hadn't been drafted. I know Braun was already drafted. Jade was already drafted, but yeah, I don't think I get what you're saying. That's funny that he is just talking more money. I gotta go back and watch that. But yeah, so you're saying that the NXT, you think those were genuine reactions?
Yeah, I don't think they knew. I think that'd be a cool way to know you're getting called up too, though, right? Like you're just sitting there and thinking you're all right, let's act like we're excited. And then they call your name and you're like, what the fuck? I just got a raise? Because the NXT pay and the main roster pay are way
Yeah,
different.
it's a drastic difference.
So you gotta think they're like, I got a raise. I'm about like Blair Davenport on SmackDown. I like that. They need heels on SmackDown. Um Kiana
Mm.
James the Raw, she'll fit in. She's got a good move set too. She got a good look, good little gimmick. Uh Dragging off the Raw, right? So,
I would like to see him get put in Imperium immediately, or I think he'll get lost in the shuffle.
I think you're about to fire up the Dragon off versus Gunther series.
Well, you could get there.
Yeah, on the main roster.
You could get there even if you put him in Imperium, have a come there, like putting him in there as a respect thing of how he beat me, and then eventually split him up. Because I
How
think
about
if
them?
he solo, I think he will get lost in the shuffle right now.
How about them keeping Gunther and Cody on different brands when everybody thought that's where that'd be the guy that takes the title from Cody?
I didn't see that happening. I heard rumblings of that. I see Gunther getting Damien's belt.
Yeah, from Jay. I
I
honestly,
mean,
I
I don't know,
honestly, I
man.
think Jay's gonna win Saturday. Priest hasn't really presented himself like a champion. I think it'd be a good story to have like JD or Finn or Dominic try to interfere and end up fucking up. Jay wins the title, and then Gunther ends up taking that title from Jay.
I'm gonna be super shocked, but we'll get into that once we talk about Backlash, which is this weekend. Crazy.
Yeah, we don't
It's
need
kind of
super
fun.
long title reigns.
Yeah,
Give us a couple hot potato title reigns for a minute.
nah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Just less than a month is kind of crazy though.
I mean, it's been over a month. When was WrestleMania?
It's like April 7th. It'd be like maybe
Are we
right
still in
around a month.
April?
Yeah, we're
Damn,
still in April.
it's about a month. That's fine. He only got the title because they needed to cash it in anyway. He's not a world champion.
Well, like I said, we'll get into that once we talk about Backlash.
Well, I'm done with all the draft talk unless you got anything else you want to hit.
Um,
I wonder if I can pull up the rosters real quick. Go ahead.
I was trying to think of something off the top of my head. Had a thought on it, but it slipped my mind. They kept CM Punk and Drew on the show and entangled it with the show, and I thought that was good. But I don't know. I feel like people are saying that they want Drew to get it at Clash of the Castle or whatever, get the belt, and that's like parallel with people saying they want Osprey to get the belt at All In. Like that seems like such a knee jerk reactionary type of move, just to appease the fans. Like I don't like that. If it happens naturally, then cool. But the kind of you know show your hand and like say that they're gonna win it at that. That's I don't know. It just seems kind of lame to me. Just
Yeah.
for a one night pop, like fuck the storylines you got. We just want to pop him in front of his home crowd overseas. That just seems lame.
Well, I mean, look at fucking Paige won the title in her hometown, and she had the belt for what, a month?
Yeah, I think that was lame
Yeah.
move by him.
I'm agreeing with you though. I'm saying your point is valid. Like, I don't think you should book a whole show around one person's hometown being there.
And like it was different with Rhea because she was already champion. And it was like she gonna lose to Nia, so I don't mind in that sense. But just to set up for them to win it there, just for a pop for a night, I think that's a little lame. What? I'm sure they're trending towards Drew and CM Punk at SummerSlam.
Drew was ready to beat CM Punk's ass last night on Raw. When I find that motherfucker, it's on sight. Punk said, I'm not waiting around in this suite to get my ass whooped.
Or did he? Or did he just outsmart Drew?
You wouldn't have to outsmart him if you wasn't scared of him.
I guess.
If he was really about that action, he would have waited on him.
Now you gotta keep playing mind games and see where everything falls. But speaking of Drew, he re-signed with WWE. I didn't get to see. It said something about The Rock presenting him something, but I didn't get to see it.
He presented him with a real Claymore sword
Hmm.
that apparently he told him he was going to give him if he re-signed with him. He bought him a real sword or something like that.
Man,
So he presented it to him at I guess he was at dinner with like Nick Khan and a couple other people. And
I didn't.
Rock couldn't be there for whatever reason, so he had him sent to it and had a card attached with it.
I didn't know it was in The Rock's nature to be tricking off on these hoes, buying them gifts and stuff. Go ahead, Rock.
Man, he's a boss now. He's got to take care of his people.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
also,
go ahead.
I was gonna say that's also, when you said the internet's not a real place, everybody talks about how, you know, The Rock's not liked backstage and people are upset that The Rock is back and all that. But everything you actually see, these people love The Rock. And apparently he's a good fucking person to be working with. Like
I
there's a
agree.
video floating around of him congratulating Damian Priest after he won the title. And like Becky Lynch, even though he was feuding and talking shit about Seth, she praised like how good he was. And I'm trying to think of whose kid it was that was like upset because he was being mean. And so he sang like the Maui song to the kid and told him everything would be all right or some shit like that. Like, I don't know. It's just you read all this shit on the internet where people want to paint this narrative, but that's not the narrative that's happening.
True. It's all internet hoo ha, and it's probably maybe one person that ruffled, well, the Rock ruffles feather on, and he ran to Meltzer or something like that. But like you said, the majority of the people probably like Rock backstage, and some of it because he's a businessman. Seems like PR moves, the things that he puts out there on social media,
Oh,
but
definitely.
I don't think he's a bad guy behind the scenes. I haven't heard any tyrant behavior from him, so.
He ain't no Triple H or Shawn Michaels.
Hey, man, we can't be disrespecting the goats.
Fuck him. Fuck him.
Triple H, the goat heel of all time, and
Shawn
Shawn
Michaels,
Michaels, the best
bow-legged
worker
ass.
of all time.
Yeah. Kurt Angle. Yeah.
But yeah, man, shout out to The Rock. And I couldn't see Drew going anywhere else. Like he's getting paid well. I couldn't see, I don't see him as an AEW guy. And I don't see him going back on that indie grind or New Japan. So this move was expected in my eyes.
I could have saw him going to AEW. Like he would have fit in there. But this punk shit, like, there's no way he was going anywhere else when he's got this punk storyline, like gift wrap for him. And he's getting to say what he wants now. Like, I think the person that's benefited the most from Triple H taking over is Drew McIntyre.
Hmm, I'd have to go and do the list of people, but he's definitely up there.
As far as like character and to me anyway, like how I view somebody, nobody has done a complete 180 the way Drew McIntyre has. Because I couldn't stand like get him off my TV. I don't care. I'm tired of hearing him bitch about being a COVID champion, whatever. And he's done a complete 180 with that. I've never found him this interesting.
Definitely with his troll and off the cuff behavior, Vince would have never let that fly. So I mean, yeah, it's a short list of people who benefited being under Triple H, and he's definitely at the top of that list. So yeah, hats off to Drew at making it work. And you know, the excitement keeps building up and up for whenever Punk does come back. And it's probably gotta be SummerSlam when they do the actual match for that.
You know, you just brought up AEW. One of the things that I'm kind of mad that they didn't do during the draft is just randomly have somebody sitting in one of the war rooms with a neck brace on.
That would have been a lighthearted, you know, little
Uh,
jab.
didn't like Shane Helms or somebody run out there when the bloodline was beating the fuck out of KO and they like got tossed around?
It
Wasn't
was
it?
it was Shane and I think Jamie Noble went out there
Yeah,
too.
you could have had one of them just sit there in a neck brace without saying anything, just like as a little joke. But yeah, they missed an opportunity.
It is what it is.
That would have been funny.
But yeah, did you get a chance to pull up the final draft list?
So I have the complete rosters. I can run them down if you want. Raw, Damian Priest, Becky Lynch, Awesome Truth, Sami Zayn, Imperium, Gunther and Ludwig, Damage Control, CM Punk, Braun Strowman, returned by the way, LWO. By the way, did Carlito not get the memo that he's not in LWO anymore?
I mean, they didn't kick him out though.
I mean, he left.
He, he turned on them, but he like, y'all ain't kick me out.
Shit, y'all going to Raw? I'm going to Raw.
Yeah, exactly.
Drew McIntyre, the Judgment Day, the Mad Dragon, Dragonov, the New Day, Lyra Valkyria. That's a good one. The Final Testament. Why do they call him Big Bronson Reed?
That seems like a Vince thing to do. I don't know. Add more emphasis on his, body type. I don't know.
Main Event Jay Uso, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, the GOAT Liv Morgan, Ricochet, Sheamus, Alpha Academy, all of them. Kiana James, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, Ivar, Baszler, Zoe Stark. Well, how come they didn't get drafted as a tag team? That's weird. The Creed brothers and Ivy Nile, New Catch Republic are on Raw now. That's good. Dijak. Wow, they're gonna try that again, huh? Caden Carter and Katana Chance, Natalia, and Odyssey Jones. What do you know about Odyssey Jones?
The big black dude.
He got drafted a couple years ago, I thought, and then he ended up back on fucking NXT.
Yeah, he didn't do. He did wasn't like a high up at the top of the card guy on NXT.
I don't know much about him besides you know, what he
He's like they try to build him as like the next Mark Henry, but he's just been collecting that check. So shout out to Odyssey Jones for getting that money. And he said the goat, what's her name, Liv Morgan, more like the Lamb, Liv Morgan. I just had to throw that in there.
why you gotta take a shot at my girl? What'd she do to you?
It is what it is.
Show me on this doll where Liv Morgan hurt you, EJ.
All right, we get canceled. Um, um, you mentioned a name on there I wanted to bring up, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. I know you mentioned Zoe and uh Shayna not being as a tag team. They weren't really a real tag team.
Yeah, they
Um,
were. They're fighting for the titles.
never won one.
Ivar?
No, not Ivar. Oh, Dijak.
Yeah.
He was actually getting over like recently. Like he had the fans chatting and stuff, but like you said, that retribution stuff was terrible. I don't know if he'd be able to shake the stench from the main roster audience from that. I mean, he could work and he's big, so but I see him as a main event guy and a house show guy. I mean, still
I
get
think
paid.
Dijak is a perfect person for NXT. I don't think he's going to work on the main roster, but we'll see. SmackDown. You got Cody, Bailey, A-Town Down Under. I didn't know that was their real name, actually. I thought I just said that shit one day. Logan Paul, Jade Cargill, Kevin Owens, The Pride, Tiffany Stratton, Legado del Fantasma, Shinsuke Nakamura, Naomi, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, Pretty Deadly, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, DIY, Blair Davenport, Bianca Belair, Carmelo Hayes, Randy Orton, Nia Jax, LA Knight, The Bloodline, AJ Styles, Andrade, Cedric Alexander, and Ashante the Adonis. Baron Corbin, I don't like that pick.
Why not?
I felt like they should have kept the Wolf Dogs together. I know they want Braun to be like a superstar singles guy. I think him and Corbin winning the tag titles on the main roster would have been fun. And then maybe he turns on Corbin.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been mad if they kept them together, but Baron Corbin is a serviceable guy where you get heat, pretty much anywhere he goes. So I'm not quite mad at that. But I also like that it looks like they trending Braun on Raw more so of a heel direction. I was afraid they were gonna try to, pigeonhole him into that baby face spot again. Like he's just better as a heel, like instead of generic baby face. But I'm hoping Corbin actually gets a decent spot. I could see him doing some work with Logan Paul.
Mm. The rest of the picks, the OC, Giovanni Vinci is on SmackDown now. I feel bad for that guy. He'll probably be released soon.
Oh yeah, probably.
Tegan Knox and Apollo Crews
See,
all on.
now that you read that out, it looks like SmackDown is more lopsided in Raw's favor. I don't know how that works out because I feel like the swaps were pretty much even. The quantity of it, I don't know about the quality of it, but yeah, it seems like more lopsided in Raw's favor now that you read the SmackDown roster.
I I don't know. We'll see. It depends on how they use everybody too. You would think they didn't just draft people that they had plans for them.
You know, Sometimes it be like that. They think they may have plans and then it doesn't work out like that. DIY, I think they're gonna take it probably off of A-Town down, but you still got the Street Profits out there. I feel like, man, the tag team division is kind of thin. I know you like the belts being split up, but now that you read them out, like both sides of it, maybe Raw is more a little bit more deep because they got those factions, but I feel like tag team division is kind of shallow on the SmackDown side. Pretty Deadly, DIY, the Pride, and then the champs.
You can always just throw random people together and make a tag team.
That's exactly what I hate when they do that. You just throwing random people together. It's not a real
If it
tag.
works though, like if they're actually a good team together, like KO and Sami Zayn.
If you do that, well, if you do that, I like it when you actually give them a team name, but they never do. They just keep them as their separate names. I think it's lame, but you know, it's interesting. We'll see how it shakes out. What was the NXT names? You got Carmelo Hayes and Aladon. No, they went to Raw. Who was the other NXT names on the SmackDown roster? Baron, technically, I guess Baron.
Blair Davenport.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I feel
I
like
like that one because they needed some heel women on SmackDown. I think she'll probably team up with Tiffany Stratton.
I don't see that happening. I see her. They're making her a good hand, which it's gonna. I don't like that. I feel like she'd be better suited at AEW with reunite her with Jamie Hayter.
I could see her and Tiffany being like a hot and cold kind of tag team, yin yang. You know, Tiffany's all Tiffy time and Blair Davenport's kind of gangster.
I mean, it's a good idea, and we you can see it happening. I wouldn't be mad at that, but since we want it to happen, it's probably not. And
True.
I just hope she doesn't get lost in the shuffle because I mean, did she even get a shot at the NXT Women's Championship?
She did. She had the NXT UK Women's Championship title shot and the NXT Women's title shot. She didn't win it, though.
Who's the champion at the time with not the UK? I didn't watch that for her regular NXT title shot.
Uh,
Tiffy or was it Lyra or was it
it may
Roxy?
have been Lyra. I want to think it was in a triple threat match where she got the shot.
Hmm. I don't know. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like where you see somebody kind of in the mid card NXT and then they just shoot up to the top of the card. A Bianca or a Alexa Bliss. So you just
I
gotta see
wish
how she develops.
Raquel, this will be the only time you ever hear me say this. I wish Raquel would have been able to get drafted because you get Raquel and Nia Jax in a heel team versus Bianca and Jade. Like, you could see some cool shit with that. Because I think Nia's basically put there to feud with Jade and Bianca, but she's got no backup.
I mean, I feel like if you're not in a meaningful feud as a single, then they should, bolster up the tag team division. Like you said, have a Tiffy with a Blair or Raquel with a Naya and just see where it goes. I wouldn't be mad at it.
So yeah, the draft is come and gone, EJ. The roster set after Backlash. There'll be no more jumping back and forth. Let's get to Street Clothes Performer of the Week.
Okay. I think I started off last week, and this week I don't even have anybody that I can think of off the top of my head. So,
Well, last week during the show, I said Fallon Henley's in street clothes. She's the leader in the clubhouse, and she was. And then on the same show, Lola Vice showed up. Lola Vice, first time winner of the Street Clothes of the Week award. I don't know if it was leather or pleather or rubber or a cat suit or whatever, but she killed that outfit.
okay. Was that in her contract signing?
Her and Natty. Which my thing last week, I remember talking about on the show. I was like, I'm glad they don't try to make Lola Vice like this MMA person and lean on the MMA. And as I said it, the person that's coming out with her is Shayna Baszler.
I mean, you spoke the opposite of what you wanted into existence, but I think it's just a one-off. Them doing their little NXT Underground, which is happening tonight.
And
So,
Shayna got kicked in the head by that other chick. I don't remember her name.
I don't know her name either. The blonde girl, I can't remember her name.
She
Carmen,
fucked,
Carmen Petrovich or something like that.
she went upside Shayna's head though.
Yeah, Carmen. I mean, I feel like they always have uh Natalia as a in case of emergency Blake break glass. Yeah, they
She's
always
not
go ahead.
she's not bad though. Like Natty's the perfect use of a veteran wrestler, I think, where she'll win every now and then, but for the most part, she's there to just help people get over. Like if you need to work a good, strong program with somebody, we put Natty in there with you. Yeah, you'll win, but she'll make you look good. She'll show you how to be a pro. And if you want, she'll help you open the OnlyFans with her sister.
Her sister has that?
I'm pretty sure. If her sister doesn't have one, she needs a new manager in her life because she posts way too many fucking pictures with her floppers in them for her not to have people paying for stuff.
Hey, maybe she just wants to bless the world with what she's working with without making a profit. You know,
Yeah, Philadelphia's got the referees on their side. It's like Nick Patrick is the referee.
little Nate.
It's not looking good right now. Knicks are down 9, 10 seconds left. They've only got 17 points in the first quarter.
It's still early. 9 NBA gets erased in less than a minute. Still a lot of game left, and this is in Madison Square Garden.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
does it count?
Oh, somebody hit something that like half court or something.
Josh Hart just hit one from half court, a runner. Oh no, he still had the ball in his hand. Damn, that sucks. That would have been great.
It's in the Garden though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry. Let me quit looking at that.
no, that's rough. If they gotta pull that out. You don't want to go back to Philly, give them hope.
Yeah, because if Philly wins the next game, then it goes to game 7, all the pressure's on New York. That's what I was saying. Like, I'm not gonna put them in the second round yet. Like, honestly, this is the biggest game of the series. They need to end this shit.
That's what they always say. But then the next game is always gonna be the biggest. But you don't want to give them hope.
Yeah, that's why this is the biggest, because they win this game, Philly, they're like, we're going home now. We're gonna beat their ass. And they might come out, fucking beat you by 30. And now it's game 7. You should have had the shit locked up already. And all the pressure's on you because you were up 3-1.
Or Philly goes back home and feels the pressure on themselves and shit the bed. It could go either
That's
way.
not, we don't want to look into all of that. We want New York to win tonight. Who'd you have for street clothes of the week?
I'm gonna go left field because I can't even think of something off the top of my head. I'm gonna go with somebody whose street clothes weren't even on wrestling. It was on the NFL draft. I'm gonna go with Tony Khan, street wrestler of the week. Him and his neck brace.
He doesn't even wear wrestling clothes, though.
Yeah. It's street clothes, isn't it?
Could you imagine Tony Khan in a wrestling outfit, like a fucking singlet, like Chad Gable?
He would look like Screech. Didn't Screech wear that on Saved by the Bell?
Yeah, he did.
That's exactly how he would look.
Power rankings. I wrote mine down 2 weeks in a row, EJ. We're turning the corner.
Shout out to Rucker for writing it down 2 weeks in a row. That's a streak.
Yeah. Call me the Undertaker.
That is a streak. Well, since you kicked off street clothes, I guess I could kick off the power rankings. Number 5. He was tag teaming with Ricochet last night. Got some good momentum going into this weekend's pay-per-view. I got main event Jey Uso at number 5.
Nice. My number 5. She got a big win on Rampage after Collision in a match with Deonna Purrazzo. Thunder Rosa. Good pin combination to reverse the Fujimura armbar.
That was a good match too, and they're not gonna get praised for this, but I like how AEW, especially in the women's division, they're putting more focus on feuds that don't have championship involved, which they're doing with Deonna and Thunder Rosa. So hats off to them for that.
I mean, they can get praise from you.
Yeah, well, what does little old me matter? So yeah, I like it. Keep it going.
I agree with you though. They are doing nice little feuds underneath the titles. You got this one, you got Mariah May and who's she beefing with? Anna Jay. I'm sorry. You said Anna Jay, and I just immediately see the fucking the promo that Tony Storm cut on her, where she told her she'd clap her cheeks back to Georgia. she
said that?
put her, yeah. She cut a promo backstage. She's standing there. She puts her arm in the air and goes, bosom. And all of a sudden, Mariah May comes running in screen and puts her head on Tony Storm's titty. And she just holding her there like a little baby and cuts a promo on Anna Jay and who else was she talking shit about? Serena D.
Yes, D.
Yeah, she cut a promo on them. She said, you got a nerve sticking your very large bottom in my business. But the next time you put your hands on My child Mariah May, I'm gonna clap your cheeks all the way back to Georgia.
Shout out to Tony Storm and her one-liners.
And Jay says she's gonna do what to my cheeks on Twitter.
She said that.
Yeah, she retweeted it. So she's gonna do what to my cheeks?
She probably do more damage than Jack Perry could.
Wow.
Yeah,
Scapegoat.
that was your number 4. That was your
Oh
number
no, that's my
5.
number 5. My number 4, EJ's new favorite wrestler. Defeated Nia Jax on Monday Night Raw last night. Got the win. Fair and square, clean as a whistle. Liv Morgan. Watch me.
I wasn't paying it. I watched Raw, but there was a few matches that I wasn't paying attention to the ending. She beat her straight up for real.
I mean, I think there was a little bit of nefariousness in there, but I just remember she hit her finish and pinned her.
No, I guess I have to go back and watch. Uh, nah, I guess it is what it is. Happy trails to Nia Jax on SmackDown. My number 4. I don't think you mentioned her. I mean, she's more on your list, but you mentioned her. I got Tony Storm with a win over Anna Jay on that was Collision.
Battle of the Cheeks.
So that's my number 4. Your AEW Women's Champion.
Cake battle.
This ain't that kind of show, man.
Battle of the brightest future behind them.
Number 3 is your undisputed WWE champion, Cody Rhodes, with a win over. It's not a debuting Carmelo Hayes, but it was a main roster debuting Carmelo Hayes, and it was a good match. But what is it? It gives Carmelo shine and spotlight, but I don't know what good that does for Carmelo just to go out there and lose against Cody his first night.
I mean, the last time we saw Cody, he was beating Roman Reigns. So do we expect him to lose to Carmelo? No, but it was a 50-50 match almost.
It wasn't a 50-50 match.
Was it not? I
The
thought
way
they
it
were
played
going
out,
back and forth. Yeah.
the way it played out, the way the offense played out. I mean, why though? And I don't know, man. I like Carmelo, but just the way it played out, it looks like Trick Williams is going to be the much bigger star out of that pair. He's getting Trick chance on SmackDown. So
Trick put a tweet out, I think today or yesterday, said, my title reign so far has already been longer than the last time I had a title. Because remember, he won the North American title and lost it like 2 days later.
yeah.
So I thought that's funny. I like when wrestlers acknowledge like the bullshit.
Yeah. Way to mix up, real life stuff with storyline stuff. I'm not mad at it.
My number 3, it's my turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your New Japan World Heavyweight Champion, John Moxley. There's a little bit of bad news in this one, though. Will Hobbs suffered an injury, and apparently it's going to be he's going to be out for a while. I don't know if they've announced it yet, but
Well, what kind of injury did he have?
it was a knee injury.
Oh man.
Yeah, he got hurt during the match. You could see him like hobbling and shit. And Moxley didn't give a fuck because he kept beating the shit out of him.
Man, shout out to Will Hobbs. When he comes back, put one of the mid-card titles on him. Because it's not like he hasn't been not featured, but he's just been like Don Callis' lackey. Put a mid-card belt on him when he gets back.
Yeah. My number 2, you just mentioned him. The undisputed WWE champion. They took the Universal off of it.
Yeah, as they should. Just have it condensed into WWE's titles history. Cody Rhodes.
Rhodes defeated Carmelo Hayes.
That was your number. That was your number 2 or 3.
And my number 2.
My number 2 is still your AEW World Champion, after defending in a hell of a match with Claudio. There we go. The Nana dance, as Rucker is displaying so eloquently.
Gotta
Swerve
watch it on YouTube.
Strickland. Swerve when I drop. And he beat Kyle Fletcher on Dynamite. And we were talking about on the chat on how it was just random for him to come out on Dynamite and not say anything, just have a match. And it was weird. I agree with you. But I see what they were trying to do. They're trying to save it till Saturday so they could get that audience from the playoffs to come tune in for him, and that's where he came.
They're like, hey, we got a black champion. Let's see if we can get some basketball playing watching fans to tune in.
Hey, I wasn't going that direction, but now that you mentioned it,
That's
I guess
basically what happened.
I guess
They
so.
never did that shit before because all their champions been white, except for Samoa Joe.
That's true. Now you said something, huh?
Yeah, they're like, oh, you know what would be great since we're coming right in after the playoffs? Let's have our black world champion lead the show off. And maybe they'll keep it there. By the way, I was at Texas Roadhouse Saturday night and we're sitting at the bar because Texas Roadhouse is busy as fuck by my house. So we have to go sit at the bar and TVs everywhere. The main big TV had AEW on it. And I didn't ask him to do it. It was just fucking there. So I thought that was cool. I took a picture and posted it.
Yeah, I mean, was it Collision or Dynamite?
It was Swerve's interview. It was
Oh,
Collision.
so yeah.
Yeah, so it was NBA playoffs were on, fucking NHL playoffs were on, MLB was going on. They had the Braves on a couple of the TV screens, but on the big TV screen, the main one over the bar, they had AEW on.
Well,
It's
I
like
guess
fuck yeah for pro wrestling.
I guess that was smart on Tony's part. 'Cause, I mean, most like you at a sports bar across America, they're gonna have that basketball game on, and it's later, and sometimes they're not gonna remember to turn the channel after that. And AEW right now, so maybe giving him less credit than what he deserves, Tony, as far as that move. But
He
yeah,
didn't do shit on purpose.
probably not. But yeah, that was my number two. I think we're up to your number one. Oh
Swerve,
no, it's my. I think it's my number one, or is it your?
my
Man,
bad. Go ahead.
I'm lost
Yeah,
track.
you're number one because you started first.
My number one is your new NXT World Champion. Oh, that trick, get him. Nice win over Dragonoff, and I like how they had like all the alumni come back and give their thoughts on the match. So
Wait a
shout out to
minute.
Trick Williams.
I
What?
didn't think Trick was eligible for that.
What? We
It's
didn't
not-
have it. I didn't. We didn't watch the match by the time we recorded it.
Yeah, you're
Trick was
right.
on.
I left them off of my power rankings. Omission by stupidity. That's my fault. He definitely would have been on here if I would have thought about that. So shout out to Trick Williams, honorable mention on mine. Um, my number one is Swerve. 2 matches in a week after winning the world title. Basically 3 matches in a week. Samoa Joe, Kyle Fletcher, and Cesaro wins all 3 of them. He's already defended his title more times than Cody has.
Ooh, that's true, but I mean, I guess that was the problem. Everybody's saying that Roman Reigns didn't defend his title, but Cody hasn't yet. So
You know, I was on Twitter, the old Twitter machine, and I was saying how I was critiquing Cody a little bit, and people get really upset with that. Like, he just won the title, give it some time. I'm like, yeah, fuck all that. Like, y'all talked all this shit about Roman. This nigga ain't showed up in 2 weeks. And he just shows up randomly the other day, wrestles a match, and everybody's like, see? And I'm like, he didn't defend the title though.
that's
But
true.
I don't know. I like Cody. I just like poking fun at Cody crybabies because they're fucking annoying. But Cody's all right. He's doing well.
Yeah, I mean, they gave him a layup. I mean, not to disrespect AJ Styles, he's all time great, but his first few, we know he's not in danger of winning that title. So I'm curious to see like when they really ramp up his first like heated feud. Because they were shaking hands on SmackDown, even though AJ is a heel.
I love seeing John Starks in the crowd.
Oh, he's there.
He's always there. He's like the biggest Knicks fan.
Man, F him. I'll never forgive him for dunking on Jordan.
I still got that poster.
Tear that shit up.
It's called the Dunk.
That's not called a dunk. You put that name on there.
No, that's the name on the poster. It's called the
Uh,
Dunk.
I never heard. That's a New York fans must call it that. I've never heard it like
Yeah, it's
labeled
called
actually.
the Dunk. And he's in the air over fucking Jordan and Horace Grant with his left hand and his fucking Adidas on. Actually, he's wearing Nikes in that one.
How many championship that dunk get him?
Why you gotta do that?
Hey man, I gotta bring you back down to earth once you get too high
Man,
on
my
your
boy,
horse.
my boy John almost won it for us in game 6 against Houston, where he was like, I think he hit like 8 3-pointers, and they were down 2, and they ran a play to get him the shot, and fucking Olajuwon blocked it at the buzzer. And then in game 7, he went fucking 2 for 18, and they got smoked.
Hey man, Elijah was like Jordan gone. I gotta give me a couple of these chips before he come back.
I honestly think had Olajuwon not blocked, because Starks was on fire that game. Like I think he scored like 30 something that game. And I honestly, to this day, I think if Olajuwon doesn't block that shot, he hits that, they win and they win the championship in Houston. And then once they lost and they went back to New York, I had no confidence. And then fucking OJ's bitch ass was. I actually think he was
Rest in
early
peace.
in the
Rest in
series.
peace to OJ.
Fuck OJ.
What did OJ do to you?
I was watching him drive that fucking white Bronco across the goddamn highway when the finals were on. Fuck OJ.
I was too little to even remember that. So
Hey, Twitter world, it's me, OJ. Shut the
was
fuck up.
was a weird guy. We could
Yeah.
probably do a whole another show on that. But
Motherfucker wrote a book titled "If I Did It, This Is How I Would Have Did It." Nigga, you did do it.
we
Got
don't know.
away with it.
We
Shut
don't
up.
know that. We don't know if he did it. Did he have something to do with it? Most likely. But in the court of law, they said he was not guilty, even though he lost the civil suit. So
OJ killed everybody in that goddamn driveway that night.
I mean, if he was stupid enough to do it himself, then shout out to Johnny Cochran for getting them all.
If the glove don't fit, you must
Must
have quit.
must have quit. But
Who knew dropping bars in the courtroom would get you off?
hey man, 90s were a wild time.
Yeah. He could have went up with Drake and Kendrick Lamar.
I know, right?
You heard Kendrick Lamar's song he dropped today?
I didn't. I'll go back and listen to it. I
Yeah.
don't, I don't want any spoilers. I saw
I haven't
something.
heard it either. I hadn't heard it either. I just saw Twitter was going crazy about it.
I saw it, but I thought it was somebody was bullshitting. So I guess you confirmed that it's actually real.
It was tweeted from his account.
My word. Okay.
Yeah. I just heard the Drake song today on like randomly. I was listening to music on my way home and it came up push-ups and I was like, I'm just not I'm not in the circle enough to know all these people that he was talking about. God damn, Brunson just missed 2 free throws.
I'm in tune and tapped in, and I knew all the people you were talking about.
Yeah.
It was cool. The best part was he told Metro to shut his dumb ass up and make some drums.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, I knew who that was, right? But like he wasn't calling everybody by name. He was just kind of saying shit. And I'm like, well, it's a cool rhyme and it sounds dope, but I have no idea who he's talking about. I got the Rick Ross one. That was a good one.
I say what Ross do to him? He's trying to eat food. But
You know, it sucks too, because like one of my favorite songs is Money in the Grave.
that sounds slap. They got a bunch of hits together. So apparently some behind the scenes stuff involving French and all that hoopla. Like,
French who? Montana?
yeah.
That's still a thing?
I mean, you know, he's not the biggest star in the world, but he keeps his antennas out there.
Hmm.
But I mean, all these dudes too old to be even damn near 40. Like by the time Jay-Z and Nas were this age, they already passed things up. Grow up, fellas.
But I mean, you fucking, it's like pro wrestling. They don't really not like each other. They're just selling tickets.
I know
They
it's a
got the whole
playoff show.
fucking rap world buzzing. Like, what's Kendrick Lamar done in the past couple of years?
I mean, it came out with a highly critically acclaimed album 2022, Big Steppers.
I don't know one song off of it.
Okay, I mean, you're a light skinned Drake dude. Of course you wouldn't know.
That's fucked up, but true. Um, the last Kendrick Lamar song I remember is "Be Humble."
I mean, that was the album right before that. He takes time in between his projects, but yeah, that was the album right before the one he
I
just
think
came home.
I think Kendrick Lamar is a little overrated. But that's just me.
That's my guy. But yeah, we could do a whole other show on hip hop.
But
But
we're
as
not. We're about to do some backlash predictions and get the fuck out of here.
well, before we get into that, I don't even think we touched on Tony Khan getting Meltzer drivered on Dynamite.
What a dork.
Man,
Good for him.
he's a dork, but I'm not a Bucks fan, but people talking about we need storyline, we need storyline. This is intriguing what's going
Yeah.
on with Jack Perry.
Was that a shot at me, by the way, just now? We need storylines. We need storylines. That sounds like me.
I mean, if the shoe fits, but I wasn't talking about you, but
Call me
it's what
Cinderella.
said hit dog hollers, right? But no, I'm just saying that the collective you, I wasn't taking a shot at you. But yeah, I mean, I'm digging it. Like I'm intrigued. Hopefully they don't do anything goofy tomorrow. Omega's supposed to be coming back. And
Yeah,
then
he's just there to like talk, though. I don't think he's there like in a physical capacity. Like that diverticulitis has fucked him up.
yeah, but Brock came back from it. I mean, Kenny's no Brock.
I mean, eventually, yeah. I think he will come. I don't think it's tomorrow. Though. I don't think he's coming back to throw hands tomorrow.
True. But I mean, I'm curious to see if they like because he was saying on the internet on the stream. I wonder if this was calculated on his part. He was like, I don't have a problem with Punk. Like
He
Jack,
never did though. He was never like all the reports and everything basically said Omega was like just kind of there. Like he was getting the dog out of there, which is Punk's dog, right? Like he made sure the dog didn't get hurt while they were while the Bucks were getting their ass kicked by CM Punk and Ace Steel. Could you imagine being friends with somebody? You go into somebody else's locker room and fight, you get your ass beat, and this motherfucker's trying to get the dog out of there. Help me.
hey, fuck your feelings and fuck your health. It's all about the dog at this point.
Hey, they said this motherfucker is not elite. we we gotta get him out of the group. He cares more about a dog than us. Shit, Michael Vick would have helped us.
Ah, you got a point about that. Hey, shout out to Michael Vick.
God. Coldest fucking quarterback in the early 2000s. That motherfucker was special.
There he was. He was left-handed too, wasn't he?
And he had a fucking cannon for him. Man, them couple years he went to Philadelphia, that dude was so good. Like,
Wasn't that the dream team?
yeah.
I mean, they dreamed their asses back home. They ain't win those championships.
I remember he won me my fantasy
Fantasy
football
league.
championship. Yeah,
Oh,
picked him with the Eagles.
he's
He,
putting up astronomical numbers, like
yeah.
crazy numbers that
There
season.
was one game I think he threw like 270 plus yard touchdowns to Deshaun Jackson
Crazy.
against the Redskins.
And that's crazy. Like those 3 years that he lost, like imagine what he could have done because he had that
Man.
one season in Philly, and then after that, he kind of fell off a cliff like
Yeah.
almost immediately.
He was so good in Atlanta, man. He fucking walked into Lambeau Field and gave them their first playoff loss at home by himself, basically. I mean, the Falcons had a decent defense back then, but that dude was just unreal.
Not to mention playing with him on Madden '06.
Oh my God.
Nobody can stop on Madden '06 playing with Vic.
We ended up making a rule with my friends like you couldn't pick the Falcons because it wasn't fair. Like it'd be 3rd and 18, and you play perfect defense, and motherfucker would use Vic and just take off running, and you couldn't catch him.
What was wrong with the AI though? The AI was a little bit off. Like I know he was fast, but real teams found out how to contain him. How come you couldn't contain him in the game for some reason? It was impossible to contain him in the game.
Yeah. I did like when Madden started making the quarterbacks fumble though when they started running because that's real.
Yeah,
Like if you don't slide, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yep. But going back to Tony, how did you like him coming out on the draft with his neck brace?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I felt the internet kind of pressured him into do it. I was one of those things where like I just wanted them to shut the fuck up. And if he just would have did it without without everybody being like, if Tony ain't wearing a neck brace during the draft, if he just would have did it, I think it would have been a lot cooler. I didn't like his interview he did. Like, this is your time
Yeah,
to talk about your company and you're taking shots at WWE. Like,
I think that's the we talk about him being on the spectrum. Like, why? Like why even? Yeah, we're the Coke, we're the Pepsi, and they're the Harvey Weinstein. It just seemed cheesy to me.
yeah, and then the thing most people didn't. I tweeted this and somebody was like talking shit back to me. I don't think they got my point. He basically compared WWE and the NFL at the same time. He worked for the NFL. WWE and the NFL has a partnership together, right? He compared WWE to the NFL by saying, we're the AFL, WWE's the NFL. He literally said that. And then to turn around and say WWE's Harvey Weinstein and to start taking shots at him, it's like, so you're taking shots at the NFL? Like, why would they want you to say shit like that on their program? But regardless of all of that, just be like, if they ask you a question about WWE, be like, I don't know what's going on over there, man. All I know is we got this upstart company. We got a bunch of fucking young people. We got good storylines. We got the first black world champion in our company's history recently. We got legends like Sting that were here. Chris Jericho's here now. Adam Copeland, who used to be known as Edge. Like, and that's just off the top of my head. I'm saying that. You just build your company up. You don't fucking worry about what they're doing across the street. I think that would have got such a better reaction than what he actually did.
True. Yeah, that's just. I mean, yeah, just make the focus on your company. Don't even focus on that. But I feel like that is like not as bad as that footage thing, though. Even though he could have just not even mentioned the WWE. You don't have to mention them at all. Now, if you're responding to something that somebody said, I'm fine with that. But they didn't ask him it. They may have asked him something about the WWE, but all I heard was that clip that you said, the small clip that they play. I think it was in the Busted Open. So
That's the thing too, though. Like, even if you ask me about the WWE, it takes nothing to be like, I'm not here to talk about another company. I'm here to talk about mine. Like, I mean, let me tell you what we're doing. I don't know what they got going on. Like, if they say compare yourself to the WWE, I'd be like, there is no comparison. We're the best company in the world.
uh,
That's all you got to say. Where's his PR training? Like, where's his PR team to tell him shit to say? Does he not have one?
I don't think they do. If they do, I don't think he cares. Like I said,
Somebody needs to. Maybe that's why him and Cody didn't get along. I think maybe Cody was like, "Yo, man, like, chill the fuck out. Like, we don't need to be. We need to do it this way." He's like, "Man, shut the fuck up. I'll run this."
that'd be hilarious if he told Cody the shit. But I get
I
it.
mean, he
But
probably said it indirectly, like he maybe not in those words, but like, I'm the billionaire. You work for me. You do what the fuck I say. And Cody's like, "Cool. When's my contract up? I'm out. Watch me go main event WrestleMania 2 nights, 2 times in a row."
man, be like that sometimes. But yeah, I think I dig in at the storyline they do. The only thing I'm hoping is I don't want Swerve to get lost in the shuffle. So still keep Swerve at the top of the card. Don't let him get lost in this elite storyline you got going on. So
Who would you have as Swerve's first major feud with to
I
keep
guess
him
we're
in?
gonna find out tomorrow. I feel like the low hanging fruit would be running back with Hangman one more time. I don't know anybody else off the top of my head. How about you?
I don't mean a match though. I mean a feud.
That's what I meant.
Like they're
Running,
they're getting the number one contender tomorrow, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not talking about just having somebody to wrestle on. I'm talking about a feud, like a beef, a program.
Hangman. Maybe not. Maybe don't. Maybe have a different match at Double Nothing. Whoever they do this number one contender. I don't even know who it would be though. and have Hangman go through him and Hangman go through the summer, be like the final leg of their feud. Finally put that to bed. Feel like they left it kind of as a cliffhanger. They just had Hangman be suspended and they're like, bye, you're suspended from the elite. So I don't know. I don't see like any natural beast off the top of my head that he has. I mean, of course they could heat it up and kind of manufacture it. Oh, I can see him. Where the fuck is Keith Lee at? They still got stuff to handle.
Ah, that is not going to keep him at the top of the card.
You was a big Keith Lee guy when he was in the WWE before he
When he was
went
in
Bearcat.
NXT, when he was in NXT,
Before he went to the Bearcat.
I watched him wrestle in person a couple times in NXT, and that guy was a fucking beast. But that was a long time ago.
But we know Darby's hurt. That would have been an interesting one. I
I
don't
feel
know.
like Okada. He said what they did to Tony Khan was a bitch move. He said that on TV. That right there just has him beefing with the elite. You can't beef with the Bucks. Him and Okada.
Like, how come we can't beef with Jack Perry?
I mean, he could, but that's nothing. Him versus Okada is a moment.
That would be dope. Mm.
Especially if he beat him. If he beats Jack Perry, nobody's gonna blink an eye. But if he beats Okada in the match 1-on-1, now you fucking cooking with grease.
Have that have that at a Forbidden Door. But I don't know what they're gonna do with this number one contender thing tomorrow. So that's a plays into a big factor, I guess.
Yeah.
Forbidden Door is what, June, July? He could have that be his first, like you said, beef since he already, you know, threw the feelers out there and called him a bitch. I would like that.
Um, let's get to let's get to predictions for WWE Backlash this Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. EJ, you watching live?
Um, I guess it depends on what time this baseball game is this weekend, and depending on what happens on Friday, I'm going the my Gamecocks are in town playing Mizzou, the number 15 ranked Gamecocks. If they if they win on Friday, I probably won't go to the game on Saturday. And I watched it live, but I don't even know what time the game is on Saturday. So I guess it all depends on that. But it's a 50-50 chance I'll be watching live.
Mm. I'll be watching live. I already got plans on Saturday.
Oh yeah?
Get up, go to the gym, go get a little brunch after the gym, a little bacon, little eggs, mimosa maybe a Bloody Mary. Come home, shower. I don't have the kids this weekend, so WWE Backlash at 1 o'clock, and then might just get drunk the rest of the day. Who knows?
Nothing like day drinking. This is
We're
a
at
short.
halftime, EJ.
Oh yeah, what's the score?
Knicks have taken a 6-point lead. They were
And
up by as many as 10. So
you
they
were worried about them being down
I
nine
mean,
at.
they were down 9 and then they went up by 10, like in a blink of an eye. Jalen Brunson just took over. I kept wanting to say something like during the game because when you were like, what's so special about him? Like the fucking second quarter. Like
Hmm.
he just fucking killed it.
That's it's NBA, modern NBA. You can barely touch the player,
Yeah.
so it's easy to go on these runs.
Oh, they've been letting a lot go in this game.
Okay.
I've never seen any of these Planet of the Apes movies, but they always look cool.
I saw like the first one that came out like in '01 when I was like 13. I think I may have saw maybe one other than that. Maybe when they tried to reboot it recently. I was only see
Yeah.
like two.
These are the
Yeah.
new ones. Yeah, these are the new ones you're talking that they got a new one, Planet of the Apes Kingdom or something like that. Anyway, let's get to the predictions. We've been talking about this shit for 10 minutes. World Tag Team Championships. That's the Raw titles. Awesome Truth defending against DIY.
When did that match get made?
This is what's on CBSSports.com.
Not even on the same show anymore.
Yeah, but the moves don't take place until after Backlash.
They just lost the title match. Uh, you sure? You sure that's going down on Backlash?
That's what it says. Let's just pick it, and if it's not, then we'll omit it, like it didn't happen.
Okay, because I was looking at I had the Wikipedia up in front of me and that's
Well,
not
let's
on
look
there.
at, I'm gonna go to WWE.com real quick and see if they got the fucking card on there. Breaking news. Oh, spring breaking is tonight. Damn. Oh, we gotta hurry up with this shows. WWE doesn't do a fucking good job of like. All right, here we go. Uh, yeah, that match isn't on WWE's thing.
Yeah, it literally just had a match last week on Raw for the tag team titles against DIY. And they
Yeah,
teased it this
'cause
DIY
what's his
split.
name? Yeah,
Yeah.
what's his name? Acted like he was gonna leave.
Mm.
All right, here's the WWE's Backlash preview. WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Kabuki Warriors versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
You already know. I got Bianca and Jay. It's probably gonna be a squash too. Unfortunate on Oscar and Kari's part. No, they might have. It's only 6 matches or five that I could see, maybe six. So they might let them cook, but I still think Bianca and Jade are gonna come out as your new women's champion. And for the listeners, Rucker has his fist in the air.
I got Jade and Bianca. One reason they never do title changes in these overseas pay-per-views.
Doesn't happen often.
The biggest, I think, thing that happened was Jay and Jimmy beating Roman and Solo. That's probably the biggest things that happened in these overseas pay-per-views. Um, but yeah, they got to have a title change. I think they're gonna have two of them,
You said Jimmy and Jay beating Solo.
Solo and Roman. I think that was the biggest like thing that happened while they beat
Oh
these
yeah,
pros across there.
that was in London, wasn't it? Money in the
Yeah,
Bank. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they don't typically have title changes, so safe to say we both got Bianca and Jade.
yes, sir. Randall Keith Orton and Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. This is going to be our first time seeing Tama Tonga in action in a WWE ring, and I think people will be impressed. I got Solo and Tama.
Yeah, I got them too because Randy Orton and KO are bulletproof. Nothing will happen if they take a loss in this end. You got to establish this new bloodline as a force to be reckoned with. So that's what I got too.
WWE Women's Championship, Bailey versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton.
Mm. I mean, I know you said you wouldn't mind if they bounce the titles, but I don't see it happening there. I see Bailey winning over something weird happening where somebody gets thrown out of the ring or something like that, and Bailey capitalizes on it. So give me Bailey.
I agree. I think Bailey maintains the women's championship. Although her and Cody have been about equal to me on this. Like they won the titles at WrestleMania and they haven't really like the chase was way more fun.
Yeah, I guess. You. I mean, it's still early, so
Very early. A month into it, but just saying. World Heavyweight Championship match. Damian Priest defending against main event Jay Uso. I got Jay winning.
um, I wouldn't be mad if Jay won, but I just think Priest is one of Triple H's guys, and I see him retaining. So I think this is the first one where we differ.
Undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes taking on AJ Styles.
I mean,
Cody.
yeah, Cody.
This pay-per-view shouldn't go too long. There's only 5 matches on it. You think 20 minutes a match is 100 minutes? It's a little over 2 hours.
Now, I feel like AEW and WWE are like ass backwards and how they run in these. I get it. I'm more of a fan of WWE having less matches because less is more. But you're on a Saturday, I feel like you could throw a couple more matches in there. And AEW has way too many matches for being on a Sunday. I feel like it's like a happy medium. I feel like 7 would have been good for this Backlash show on a Saturday.
I feel like also like WWE's kind of jipping these overseas
Yeah,
pay-per-views.
this is like maybe the only time they'll have like a PLE. I know they do tours over there occasionally, but they're paying probably a lot for these tickets. They only in
Yeah,
5 matches.
5 matches, and you probably won't. Oh, I picked 2 title changes, but you probably won't even see one. It'll probably be predictable as fuck. You don't got Roman on the show, no Punk on the show, no McIntyre on the show, no Becky on the show, no Rollins on the show. Like, at least give me some matches.
It's kind of like a house show. It might have more matches on the house show actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a this is like a not a big pay-per-view it is, so I figured that they could throw anything out there, I guess. I mean, it's not a bad card, but like you said, no Seth, no Roman.
What was the last one? That was in Australia, right? The last
Lim-
overseas show.
Elimination Chamber, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that one wasn't that good either. Like the Rhea thing kind of made it better than what it actually was, just the crowd reaction. Um,
Yeah,
the
but
couple they did last year, like I feel like they got to be careful because they're charging all this money for these people to come here when they go overseas, and then they're not delivering, and eventually the ticket sales are going to start going down. Because, like you said, these are basically fucking house shows.
yeah, and I agree with your points. But only thing I'll say about Elimination Chamber, at least that's an attraction. Like you got the Elimination Chamber, but like you said, some of these other ones, like what was it? Like I can't even name off the top of my head, but some of the other
They
ones they
put
were
Money
too.
in the Bank on there too, so Money in the Bank was an attraction.
Yeah, but this one isn't. So
Right.
how can you justify that?
How can you justify 5 matches?
Yeah, like you said, yeah, they're fine, but like, you gotta, be wary of that. Don't get too cute. So,
Yeah. One quick shout out to my boy Ricochet. He won the inaugural Speed Championship.
oh yeah, I meant to look at that. I'll probably check that out after this.
I haven't seen any of it, but I know it's like basically you get points for winning your match as fast as possible.
Yeah,
But
it's 3 minutes. Yeah,
they have a championship, and Ricochet won the first one.
I get why they're doing that so they could get the social media, the Gen Zers who only like watching stuff in clips. But I feel like that would have been a perfect opportunity instead of making that the Speed Championship, make that a TV title. But whatever.
Yeah, they got enough titles. This is gonna be on social media only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Or maybe I mean they can't. I guess they can't do a technically social media champion because TNA's already done that. Digital media, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they have that extra hour on Raw. A TV title for Raw would have made sense, but I get it. Like you said, they do have a lot of titles. So, but shout out to Ricochet. I'll check that
Yeah,
out later.
Raw's going to Netflix though, so it's no longer on TV.
Yeah, I wonder how that's gonna work. If they're just gonna not have set hours, it's gonna go off whenever they want. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that
And
because they won't have to do all the breaks and that. Like, I'm intrigued by the in-person Raw experience now because it's on Netflix. Because you're not gonna have to do all the commercial breaks and shit like that.
they're probably still. I mean, do they have to with Peacock? But they still do like these breaks.
Yeah, well, I guess you're right because some people aren't gonna pay the extra to get the non ads in there, so they'll
Mhm.
have to have ads. So yeah, I guess you're right.
But as far as having like a hard off time, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, Raw might go down in like 2.5 hours now, just
Let's
straight.
let's hope so.
Yeah.
I won't be mad at that.
Well, EJ, you got anything else you want to say if we get up out of here?
I don't mind, man. Just like always, thanks for all the listeners out there supporting us and keep supporting us in the future.
Shout out to all the listeners. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a rating and a review. Whatever your honest review is. Doesn't I'm not going to tell you to leave 5 stars, but I'd like it. But leave us a rating and review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. Um, hell, whatever way you're listening, if there's a review able to be left, leave one. We would appreciate that. Check out our link tree. I know we don't promote it a lot, but we do have merch. EJ's wearing the Boot to the Face Championship shirt right now as we speak on
Check out.
YouTube. We got the Harlem Heat logo that's out there. We got a couple other logos. These hands ain't kayfabe, which was the thing I told MJF when I ran into him in the bathroom. That's a story I might tell later if nobody knows it. But yeah, check out our link tree. Leave us a rating. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about it, especially your moms if they're hot, because we're MILF friendly. And until next week, for EJ Reed, I'm Chris Rucker. This has been Boot to the Face. Peace.
Got it bumping. Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude.